Hello, everyone. Irene Krauss playing as Athena Artist with an introduction or a getting started guide, I guess you could call it, to Two Point Campus. Now, I have been a huge fan of the Two Point Hospital game for many years. This is very similar in some ways, and in other ways, it's very different. So I thought I would do, like I said, sort of a something to orient you to and introduce to people what the game is about and talk about some of the things that you'll find in it. First of all, let's talk about the purpose of it is a strategy game. In this case, what we are doing is we are taking students and we are building their educational career and training. And also, very important part of that is the social aspects of them developing friendships with each other as well as romantic relationships. Now, that is where I have to put in a bit of a cautionary note for those of you that are parents, perhaps, and you might be concerned that there would be sort of adult content in this game. I don't know if it's so much real adult, it's suggestive. Maybe PG sort of rating, I guess, is what I would describe it. You don't actually see any real nudity. For example, when a student or someone else goes into the shower, they come into the shower, they do a little spin around as they take off their clothes, and then they get this little blobby effect all over them so that you can't actually see anything. It's get the little blobs all over them. So you never actually see anyone naked. But like I said, it is a little bit suggestive. Same thing with relationships, romantic relationships that will be developing between the students. Eventually, they will get to the point where they want to express that in some way. And one of the beds that you put into your dormitories, that is, once you get it unlocked, is the double bed, jump bed, which apparently is how in the game they indulge in friskiness because they both jump on the bed and they start jumping around. So, like I said, it's a lot of silliness as there is in common with Two Point Hospital. A lot of very cute animations. Um, it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Okay, enough said on that topic. But I do need to also mention, yes, insofar as the romantic relationships, some of those can be between members of the same sex. So if you are someone that bothers or offends, you should be aware that it is there and it is in the game. So enough said on that subject. Now, a couple things that you want to look out for. I'll have to bring the other one up later. The first one is this little symbol here, this little red with a people over it. This means that this particular room is filled to capacity. This happens to be my student lounge, which I only have one initially at the start of the game when I was building things, and it could hold 11 students at the time. And of course, there's obviously more people trying to use it. And yes, someone's gone and dropped some trash. A lot of them seem to suffer from problems with putting trash into trash receptors. I don't know why. Um, but I don't remember that being that much of an issue when I was in college, but apparently it is in this game. So what I eventually did do is when I was building up my campus, I put in a second room for that, which really helped to relieve some of the congestion and everything and made things better. Now, One of the other things I want to spend a fair amount of time, yes, and there's some trash there in the library too. Like I said, a lot of the students seem to have a problem with putting trash into receptacles, even some of the staff too, for that matter. It gets very, very annoying. Um, One of the things you have that's very important mechanic with the game. Yes, there's your cash that you have that comes in because through your tuition fees and your rent and so forth, and also, for example, them buying this in this case is my coffee kiosk, them buying coffee drinks in that. Um, but the other thing you have is what is called kudosh. At least I think that's how that's pronounced. Kudosh is what you get for achieving your various goals, also the awards that you win at the end of a school year, and any challenges and things that may come up in the meantime, where you get a challenge, for example, to get your hygiene level up to a certain thing, or to make sure that everybody is drinking or they're eating, or whatever the challenge would be. If you do accomplish that challenge, then you get a little bit of kudosh for that. This is what you need to unlock your items. For example, this is my science lab room, which is a classroom. I think when I first opened it up, well, I obviously had a basic plant, and I had eventually got my trash. This came with it, which is my science board. I think that's, yeah, the science board. And this is the um, device that is used for them to interact with. And yes, the animations are really wonderfully cute, but you can have them um, do their schoolwork and everything in here. And I think the only other thing that I had unlocked initially was the science shelf, which contains a lot of different beakers and things that's involved in science. All the rest of this, these little tables and these things, I unlocked with my kudosh. I have a science station. This one doesn't give me a bonus of any sort. Some of them that you unlock can also improve their learning ability. This one does not, but the thing is, these might be required by a student to complete an assignment. So they will be important to get unlocked as you go along. This is one that I also unlocked, which was quite pricey, was the Momentum Marbles, which again was needed for an assignment. But as you could see, it does boost the learning power. So there are things that you can put inside rooms. This is my microscope, which can boost learning power. And what you'll be requested to get, this is the Thunderballs, which I'm not sure quite what that one does because I haven't caught the animation on that one, what it does insofar as what it does when the students interact with it. But they're all sort of fun and silly. This is my library over here. And this is not a very optimal layout. This was while I was still learning how to lay out things out. And I would not suggest to anyone follow this because this is actually, I've got way too many of these types of desks in here. I turns out I don't need that many. Um, I've got way too many of these in here. Actually, my room is pretty much too big, but at the time, like I said, I was still learning. And I don't think I would definitely do it differently if I were playing this level over. There are things you can put in here. Oh, I guess that one doesn't boost the learning ability. These, I thought, all of them, because there's a different bookcase that you unlock for each class type that you can teach. I thought each one of those would boost your learning ability, but I guess I'm wrong on that. The main way of getting a boost to their learning ability is by the assistant that you have assigned in here. This one has a 4% skill level, which is giving everyone that's in here a 20% boost on their learning skills. So in other words, they're completing their assignments faster because of that. Now, I'll show you some other things in some of the other situations. This is my lecture hall. Yes, for every class that you're teaching is you will have a lecture hall in addition to the lab that goes with that particular class type. I have unlocked a few things in here, which I'd like to point out. I unlocked the surround sound speakers, which give me a 3% boost in learning power. And you'll notice, yes, I have two of them in here. And then I also have the auto cue, which gives me a 4% boost in learning power. So between I have two of those and one of those, so that's a total of a 10% boost in learning power while they're in this lecture hall. Now, especially early on in the game, and when you don't have very much kudosh or anything like that, you're not going to be able to have those unlocked or use them because, well, number one, they're rather pricey, both insofar as what they cost you to get unlocked with your kudosh, as well as the cost of the money, and you may not have the money in there. So that's one thing. You start small and you grow. And start with the basics. Now, moving on to the subject we've talked about, yes, you have to have dormitories. This, well, this isn't a horrible layout for a dormitory. I know there's a lot of going back and forth amongst other players as to whether you should make your dormitories kind of small or have them, like in this case, kind of big, because each bed that you have in your dormitory will actually service 5 students. So because I have a total of 10 beds in this room will service up to 50 students. And right now I have it turned on for both of the classes I'm teaching in this campus and also for both male and female. But the big thing that you want to pay attention to in your dormitory room is this accommodation rating, which is where you get into having your room prestige fairly high. You want that accommodation rating up there as high as you can because that means you'll be getting the maximum amount of rent that you could charge, which of course means that you'll have more money and you'll be able to win the game, that is, get to through the level and everything more easily. How do you go about increasing room prestige in these rooms, especially when you're early on and you don't have a lot of the higher level things that add to your room prestige? How do you get those unlocked? Well, what you do is you look for example, in this case, I've got 2 rug types that I have unlocked. And I also have a wide variety of some of them are paintings, some of them are posters. They they're relatively low cost insofar as what they cost to put into a room, but I think this is one that I got for free. I can't remember now. Like I said, I've been playing the game for about a week now, so but I unlocked certain things because students were requesting them and I put them in there. I did put in the clown dresser in this case because it was requested by one of the students. Um, that was not something I would have ordinarily put into a dormitory. I think this was the Raven lamp, which again was something that was requested by a student, as was the Gothic bookcase. And but like I said, I don't know what's going to pop up in your game, so I don't know what you will have to unlock insofar as what is being requested by the students. Now, that's how you get your room prestige up, is by adding different elements. Now, when we were playing Two Point Hospital, you had there was a habit of kind of spamming putting in, because at that time in that game your maximum amount of prestige you could get for a room was 5. I'm not quite sure what the top limit is now. As you could see, I've got it all the way up to 10, and I've still got quite a bit of ways to go where I could even increase it higher, but I'm not sure if I'm getting that much more of a return now because I've already got my my accommodation rating up to 100%. So, but this will boost their happiness, which of course means that they will find it easier to learn, so they will learn faster. This particular person here wants to join a club, but I did not have that unlocked yet when I played this level. So I just unlocked that in the level that I just played. So now apparently it's popping up here in this campus, but I'm not going to change anything that I did here with that. Um, but anyway, getting back to about the prestige and putting items. Yes, putting copies of items into the room, that is how you boost the prestige level. But unlike in Two Point Hospital, where we could just throw as many as we want of a particular object in there, you get diminishing returns. So, for example, these are actually count, even though they're both beds. This is the brown frame bed, and this is the white frame bed, and this over here is the black frame bed. That one actually is going to need repair pretty soon. But in any case, these count as different objects. And the other thing is when you put them into the room, you get the maximum amount of prestige for an item, the first one that you place in there. The second one, you get almost as much, but a slightly lower level. The third one, again, goes down a little bit. By the fourth one, you're definitely seeing a drop in how much prestige you're gaining from those additional items. So that's why my recommendation is that you only put 2 to 3 of duplicate objects. That is, if it's an item that is suitable for being duplicated in a room. For example, I don't see why you would want to put more than one of the clown dresser in there, or like this bookcase or something like that. There's only certain things that you get a gain from having duplicates of them in there. And I would only go with like 2 to 3 of a given object. Like I said, I don't think I would put in 2 of these desks anymore because I actually find they don't actually use them. They actually much prefer using the desks over here in the library. So I would only have probably put one in there, but that would leave me room to put something else in there that I might need to. The same is true for all of your other rooms. Is as you could see, I put a fair number of posters, but I think I pretty much limited myself to 2 of each of them. I didn't put more of them. I've got 2, for example, of the rugs that are in there and stuff because this did boost my prestige level, and of course it made them happier, but I didn't spam them all over the place. Okay, so enough on Kudash and room prestige. Let's see. Let's talk about relationships, your social things. Some of the objects you put in the game, like this particular bench, will encourage them to develop friendships with each other from levels 1 to 2. So, in other words, the beginning of a friendship. They could do that just by meeting each other in the hallway or in a room, but they can also do it by sitting on the benches, usually the benches anywhere here on the campus, except for the special ones, which I'll get into in just a moment. Also, these tables, the picnic tables, are also to encourage, but this one you could get as many as 4 people around the table. So you could develop a friendship between 4 people all at the same time. So those are nice to have, and these are actually cheaper to put down than the benches. And I like to put those around where I have my food service things so that to encourage them to sit down and eat their food and whatever and have a conversation with another person. And I do put a lot of bins around, as you can see, but like I said, for some reason they're ignoring them. Outside, we have some more picnic benches, and we also get into the special ones, which are pink. The pink ones, this is to develop the romantic romances. This one is for levels 1 to 2, which is the crush level. And then after they've had a crush develop for a while, this one goes into the sweetheart level, which is one of the type of objects you could use to encourage that. This one also will help encourage sweetheart level. And I think the final one for the romantic is this one, yes, which is the soulmates, which is your love trumpet. Now, I don't know, there could be another one I haven't yet run into, but that's to get all the way up through level 4 where there's soulmates. Now, the same thing kind of goes for friendships. I showed you the benches and the picnic tables. Um, let's see, what's this one? Yeah, this one goes to the good turning good friends into best friends. Um, so, like I said, these are things that you do need to have in your game. There's another one for going from levels 1 to 2. Those are quite important to the students and also their success in being able to learn and things. Each of them will, let's see, here's one of my graduating students. Level, notice that he got all the way up to level 17. He has, he's feeling really good. He actually is a big tipper, and he also has an iron bladder, which means that he goes to the bathroom less often than others. So far as his needs right now, I guess he's getting a little hungry. He is a little needy insofar as his hygiene and his entertainment level. He's not that happy. Um, let's see. Yeah, he wanted the ramen kiosk. And what was the thing I was going to mention here in connection with him? Was, oh Lordy, I can't remember what I was going to say now. Um, like I said, these are, I think I've found so far 5 different food drink kiosk types. There may be more that we find. That these are 2 of the vending machines. Now, your vending machines and these all have to be serviced by your janitors. Yes, your janitors become very important in this game. Let's talk about that, the staff. You have 3 different general staff type. You have, of course, your teachers. Teachers can be either they can be working within the classrooms Or eventually you'll also get unlocked what's called private tutoring, which is where you could try to get a student who has a very low grade level up higher. Your assistants, well, they're your worker bees. I mean, they're running your library, they're running your student services, they're running your food things. They'll also be encouraging students to join clubs. They're doing all kinds of things to make your operation run smoothly. Plus, they'll also eventually be doing our marketing and that sort of thing. The janitors, they will be repairing things and doing things like that. But they also will be, let me see if I can, here's a janitor. As you could see, he is getting ready to restock a vending machine. When I open up his jobs, right now I do not have upgrades for anything unlocked, so he does not have that qualification. The two things he's mainly focusing on are maintenance and cleaning. Now, security is apparently something that's going to become quite important in my later levels of the game because I'll actually be dealing with intruders on my campus, and they will be, if they have the security skill, they can go grab whomever it is that's trying to break into my campus and disrupt things and deal with them. But okay, I think what I'm going to do, this is my VR lab, one of them. And yes, they have some chairs, they have some desks, and they have some VR headsets which will boost their learning ability. And here's some more food things. It's a good idea to scatter both food and drink as well as bathrooms. I actually probably should have put another bathroom in here in this room, that building. It's a good idea to scatter your bathrooms and that around your buildings and have more than one. Um, I didn't do that well in this particular level, but I've learned since about the importance of that because, and this is my staff room, uh, it's actually important that it will tell you what the minimum size for a given room should be. Some rooms it's better, for example, like your library and some of your classrooms and that. It's actually wiser to have them be a little bit bigger than what the default size is. Okay, here we are in the second campus of the game, which is your Piazza Leontra, I think is how it's pronounced. It's a cooking school. And once again, as you can see, I've got an awful lot of trash here and there because, again, it seems like they never seem to want to put things away. I wanted to bring you over here because there's a couple things I wanted to bring up. First of all, see this little symbol right down here, little red wrench symbol. That means that this item, which in this case is my toilet, needs to be repaired. So I need to summon my janitor and have them come over and fix that. You do need to keep an eye out for those symbols as they start popping up. This is my student union, which is a new building a room type that I had just unlocked in this level, as well as, where is it here? One of them. Oh, here it is. This is the private tuition room, which you can only have two people in here at a time. So it doesn't make it do you much good to have it very big. But putting in, again, when you get to where you can unlock these items, this will boost their learning power and make them so that they learn their lessons and it will improve their grades in a better fashion. Let's take a look at one of my chefs here. He is in his second year to third year. He's getting an A. He's apparently had a smoothie very recently. So he's experienced some comedy relief from someone. He's also just attended a party, so he's got a buzz from that. And he's a lollygagger, which means that he moves a little bit slower than most. He also has a habit of poor hygiene. Now, one of the things you can do, because unfortunately that seems like kids, I guess, have the world over have a problem with keeping themselves clean. Scatter your hand sanitizers liberally all over your campus. That apparently equates to the same thing as them taking a shower. So at least it keeps them clean and hopefully avoids them from getting sick or anything like that. Although diet, of course, is very important, which is why one of the first kiosks I got unlocked was the veggie kiosk. Because, I mean, not that there's anything wrong with all of these other kiosk types, but that was obviously, I would have liked to have something where they are serving actual fruit. I don't know if the smoothie one, I would hope that that would be made from fruit and without too much sugar or anything in them. But in any case, that's what's going on. That was the other thing I discovered the importance of on this level was the water cooler, which not only gives them drink, but it's good for developing those friendships into a much higher level. So I that apparently is one of the ones that you need. It's again have everybody hang out at the water cooler. Now, the other thing, the mechanic that they introduced in this level was the clubs. You saw that in the other level where the students kept saying they wanted to join a club. At this time, I've only unlocked two. Oh, yes. And I have a stunned frog right there. Um, Eventually, hopefully, one of my janitors will run over there and clean them up. Um, let's see. Yeah, here's my I have two types of clubs that I have unlocked. There's the power walking club, speed walking club, sorry. At this point in time, I have 19 members in it. The thing is, this club will encourage them to burn up their energy quicker. I mean, they will get around faster, but actually, I found the one that was most useful to keeping my students happy and going was the power napping club because they learn how to sleep just about anywhere on the campus and that restores their energy. So it actually, I found this one to be more useful in helping them to get around to their classes and everything rather than the speed walking. I thought the speed walking one was going to do it, but that actually burns their energy faster, whereas this one tends to restore it. And like other things, you have to put certain objects here and there around on your campus so that members of these clubs can level up their levels. This one, for example, is the one for levels 1 to 3 for the speed walking. This is the counting sheep, sleepy sheep thing, which is the same thing for the power napping. Then the mid level is this one for the power napping, and this one for the speed walking. And finally, the last level is your getting them from 7 all the way up to 10 for the speed walking. And this is the one for the power napping, which is the counting. It has a cute little animation, which I got paused so you're not seeing it, but the sheep run around. As you can see, I'm at the end of another school year. I've got a bunch of graduating students. They're heading out into the world. I think that's pretty much it insofar. Oh, I'm sorry. There is one other things, a few other. These are some of the things I found rather frustrating in the game as to how do you go about doing them. First of all, there's your campus, your career goals. You might see a message that pops up right now that you have, uh, well, for example, that you got so many students to sign up for a club. So that would earn you a career goal, and that will get you kudos. You find that here under where this briefcase is. And as you can see, I've got quite a few of them unlocked. But they will continue to progress until and get me more kudos as I go forward in the game. The other thing I really struggled with initially was it kept telling me that I should level up my courses, and I couldn't figure out quite how to do it. For example, right now it says that I have 25 course points. That's through this screen. When you're going in to decide either are you going to add another course or not, or this is where you do the upgrade is you add the hit the plus thing or something like that. Like right now I have 25 course points. I don't have enough to add another upgrade for my cooking class, but I do have enough that I could upgrade my comedy one. And this is only a 2-year course, whereas this one is a 3-year course. So as you level them up, you will have more students coming into your campus to come to those courses, as well as uh, the skill level of those that you could hire, for example, your teachers and that, will actually improve as your campus level goes up and your everything else. So, like right now, these are all level ones. There's a level 4 cooking instructor, which means that unfortunately, she drops litter, but she does move faster. So she would make an excellent teacher. This one, he has the additional skill with private tuition. So in other words, he would be tutoring my students in the private tutor room very quickly. So that would be an excellent hire for that reason. So those are the two other things I wanted to mention. The other thing I wanted to say is the importance of this messaging system. Right now, I've got some students that they want me to book a party, which we don't have any classes right now, so I don't know why I would want to book a party. And they want a funny film. Uh, but again, like I said, school's over for the year at this point. I can't really book apart any of those events anyway. And of course, it's also constantly notifying me that teachers are needed in the tuition rooms because, of course, they all left them at the end of the school year. But anyway, this was my overview of the game, and I hope that you enjoyed it. But do remember what my general advice is: start small with your campus. Don't try to unlock and buy everything and put them all in your rooms all at once. Build as you go. It is going to take you probably several years to accomplish everything and get all 3 of your stars unlocked for a level. So you're not going to be able to get it all done right away. It might take you even more than 3 years to get through and finish one. So I hope you enjoy it, and we'll talk to you again. Bye.